When life is out of control, do you see? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Hello. Let me quickly check if you can hear my voice. Hello. Everybody. Hi. Hello. Okay, so why is this good? My overall setup is also good, so we are good. Let's quickly start. So, guys, if you are here for the first time, make sure you go to channel, Code for Coin, and subscribe it. The very link that you should go and visit is my LinkedIn, where I constantly upload what we learned as part of the live session. You can simply go and get the crux of that one, be it form of article, be it form of question, be it form of summary. Then the second place you have to go is to GitHub. Inside the GitHub, you will get into this direct repositories SQL, and this is the directory you to get need to get it. On the first session, we always have like 25 minutes of three session. The first session is all about doing the revision. So group by having a group set is something that we revised it yesterday, and I will quickly give a tour of this one. So we have this data, which is a regional product and category, year, quarter, and sales level. Okay, so first thing we need to understand what is group by. So there is a time when the data, tabular data we have in our system. Let me quickly firstly change this one. We will go to SQL and today is day 20. I will just have quickly. Mhm. Day 20. And today we're gonna talk about between uh, in and like operator. Okay. But before we even go into this one, we need to do a revision, and revision is all about group by and having group by and having. Okay, so we all know that in our this thing called tabular data, right? This is the tabular data we have. So what happened? The data we have, we try to do group of them because we need to get the information at the group level. Let me give you a good example of this one. Suppose in a society we have numerous people, and based on their weight or BMI, we ask them to group. Okay, and because of this, we will devise different plan, like be it diet, be it exercise, be it sleeping routine. We're gonna decide based on that. Okay, so we ask them to group them based on the BMI index. So we see all the people with a lot of weight are in this place. People who are healthy are in this place. People who have very less weight are in this place, right? So what we did ultimately, we have created groups, right? We have created the groups. And in SQL, group by does the same. We group the data based on certain value of a column or group of column. And from each group, we get one entity that represent entire group. It represent this represent entire this group, this represent entire this group, and this represent this entire group, right? So what group by does, it compress or group the people, and only one representative of each group is being transferred into the virtual table required by the user. Okay, let's take an example. Suppose I have column direction that have north, east, west, and south. And in the direction, I have called suppose the mm, product I'm selling. Okay, so suppose this is the direction product I'm selling. Suppose P1 P2, right? and then I have like the sales for each one. So my data could look like north. For P1 I am selling for like 50. For north I am selling P2 for 20 euros or dollars, right? For east I sell P1 only for 50, 30. For west I sell only P2 for 10, and for south I sell P1 and P2 for 30 each. Okay. Now, what I want the total amount of the product I sold in each direction. So, what is happening? I'm trying to calculate a value, single value, based on the direction. So, what I need to do, I need to group this, 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 and from each group, I need to get, because I'm doing group based on this one, so we can say for north, east, west, south, I need one value each that gives the total sales of each one. So P1 plus P2 give me 70. P1 I'm selling only 30, then 10, and then 60. Okay. So group by what it does is simply group the records, and one representative of the column or the record comes into the final table that have all the other record, which is again represent the entire column. So group by have usually two kind of data at its output. First is the column that I am using to group by. Second is aggregated function, usually aggregated or scalar value. Okay, this is something or some kind of expression that can workable, but is always aggregation that goes with those expressions. So this is the one. Perfect. So now you told me that group by is done. What is having then? And what is the difference between having and where? So remember, these are almost same because they have the same function of either filtering out or filtering through. So where clause filter out at the record level. So this condition will be applicable to all the individual records. Having filter out the group, so it apply on the group level, not at the record level, but at the group level. That is why it goes with the group by having and whatever is the clause it. So if it represents true, then only that group is eligible. If not, it drop. That means if it, even if it is false, null, anything else, it will simply drop out of the game. Because that's why having is being used. Then we have other group set that we're gonna discuss. I will discuss based on example. Let's quickly go here. Let me show you. Okay. Now suppose again I told you for the north I have product like laptop and a phone, and the year and the quarter. Okay, so right now I have only one year, that is 2024, and the quarter is one and two, right? So again, I want as an individual, I ask my data engineer that I want the total sales that is done in the region, north region, east, west, south. Okay, so what I have to do, I need to first segregate this data. I need to divide this data, group the data into the region level, right? And in that region, I need to get the region and the sum of this everything, right? That's exactly I want the aggregation. It sum everything, and the sum represent entirely that group, right? The group has cumulatively done this much sale. The cumulative average of this entire set is this one. This is how it goes. Okay. So how it does, we will start with first column referencing. So from sales underscore data. So now I have access to this information. The first thing is done. Now my CEO asked me that I need the data at the region level. That means I need to group the data in this table at the region level. Okay. So all the data is now grouped based on the region. So whatever the region have the same name, they will be grouped together. So whatever the computation fermentation I'm going to apply, it's going to apply into those sets. Right. Do I have anything on this one that I need to do? Answer is no. So simply group by is done. What I'm going to do now in the select list, I need region, and what else I need? The reason, so region is going to come up as the identifier of that group, right? What else can I can take it from this group that can identify the entire group as a whole? That is aggregation, because aggregation definition itself is it converts the entire data set into ones. So it converts the entire data that I have for that group into one value. So that value actually represent that group. That's why in group by aggregation always work. So I need sum. What I'm summing up? Sales. But am I going to stop here? Answer is no. Reason? I will show you. When I run it, see what happened. It becomes the sum. That's not exactly I want. I don't want my CEO to see that region and then sum. No. I want him to understand what this data represents. That means I need to rename this virtual table that came it. And the column name gonna be replaced with as. As is a alias that I want to represent. What I want? Regional sales. That's exactly I want. Or simply you can keep it sales as well. It's also fine. So you don't have to worry. It can be region and then regional sales. That's it. Okay. But if you look from this perspective, east, west, north, south, everything look perfect, right? But now when I look at this direct data, like let's run it again. Okay. My CEO is like, okay, he was like, thanks Nathan for this one. It was really, really understandable. It's so cool. But now I want the data based on the phone and laptop at the region level, that how much they are making the sales, right? So if you look at this one, the laptop they are individually is right. Okay, so they don't have to worry. Should I do this way, because ultimately it's the same thing. Okay. We don't have more data, right? Yep, we have this one. See, if you look here, not sell the laptop 2024 in quarter one, then did not sell the laptop again in 2024 on quarter two, this one. So now my CEO is like, okay, Nathan, you have given me the data on this one. It look really good. I'm really appreciate this one. But now I want the total sales for laptop and phone individually at the regional level for quarter one, quarter two, or combined. I don't need to worry about the quarter one, quarter two. I want the total sales in 2024, right? Or for that year. So I was like, okay, got it. So first I will have the access to the reference table, that is sales data. Okay, now I got the access to this one. What I need is to get a group at the region and the product level, right? And based on that one, I will calculate the values. So I will do group by first on region, AGI on region and group. So now I got the data. So now with this, what gonna happen? This will become one. This laptop, this two, and I think let me do one thing before it will become more better for you. It's order by. This is a good example of you to understand that if you don't do order by, row is stored arbitrarily or very randomly. So you will never have the same level, same out the same order in which it is being displayed. Okay, so you need to do sorting. You need to do explicit sorting. So I will do sorting on region level, and the ascending and descending always happen at the individual level. So I can simply write it like this. Okay. So, uh, okay, this is the issue. So let me do it here, and I will just remove it. Typing. So now you can see east is there, laptop is there, east is there, phone is there, not laptop, not laptop, because it has two quarter one and then quarter two. Just two, right? You see it. So for this kind of a data, I need to merge them into one. That's my requirement, right? For not and laptop, we have multiple records. I need to merge them into one. That means first I need to create a group, and with that group, what will happen? They will merge one into one. They will converse into one, same as aggregation like it converts. And that's exactly why with the group by aggregation work, because aggregation is also conversion of like converse of like different entity attribute or details into single value. And that's exactly we are doing it. We are simply conversing these columns into a single value, and that's why it complement the group by. So first I will do referencing. So from sales underscore data. Now I have access to this table, password. What I want to group the region and product details, right? This is done. Anything else on this I need to answer is no. What I want to showcase to my CEO is to select region, right? And then product. And then I need to do is the sum because there will be multiple quarter. I want to sum this one. So I did sum. That means adding of sales. And now I need to do as sales or total sales, right? And I will execute this one. See, before I do this one, there's one more thing I should do. Again, I need to do a manual sorting order by region and and if you see it clearly, that even if I don't put the ascending, it is by default ascending, so I don't have to bother. So East laptop 600. You remember last time North has two laptop for quarter one, quarter two, but with the group it got merged, and I use again the merging aggregate logic sum that added the value, it become 950. So this is the concept of group by and this one. Now what I need is bit more than that. Okay, so if I execute it again, let's do some fundamental things. So before it run, let's run this one. So I got the 2024 data for both the quarter together, the total sales at the region and the product. As a CEO, what I'm more interested is to understand which particular region is not performing well and which particular region is performing well, right? So I want to get the sales at the region product level, right? At the region and the product 2024, whose sales are less than 300 and whose sale is greater than 800. Okay. I want to go with the less than 300 to understand which particular market or the product is not performing well in which region. And then I can start working with my team to elevate it or to close this one so that we can minimize our losses. That's how the data enable you to do to make bigger uh, decision. Okay, so from that when I'm gonna give the table expression to get the access sales underscore data. Now I have access to this one, right? I need to do group by again. That is your region and product, right? And what kind of data I want is to select region, okay, then product, and then this say sum of sales data, sales attribute as total sales, right? And when I'm doing all this, I can execute it to see if it's running fine. The product have an issue to buy. Pro product is fine, region is fine, sales is fine, comma separated. Let's run it. Product does not exist. Uh, product dot. Where is product dot? Oh, so instead of comma, I put that dot. And that's why it is looking for this one. Okay, so now what I want to just have only the record which is performing bad. That means I need to filter out all the groups having so this gonna so now it apply on this group, right? These two groups. So I'm going to drop any of this to combination whose total sales is less than 200, right? Now I have to do group by having sum of sales should be less than equals to be 300 to be eligible for this one quiz table. That is called worst performing table. So worst region product performance data, right? That's my tabular. That's my. So I got three such record where the region and the product that perform not so well in terms of sales that is available here, right? And other records or other groups. Remember, I'm not saying the record, but groups got dropped because they fail to satisfy a certain condition on this one. So the record like not for laptop, it came here and it checked the condition where the sum of the sales is less than 300, and it was failed because its sales was greater than 600 300, right? That was 950, and that's why it got blocked. So remember, when we were doing the where clause, it comes here, right? Here, where I can write 1 equals to 1. That means it's gonna be true, it's gonna pass, right? So everything will pass. You don't have to worry. Or simply I can write true or sure true. If it takes this one, yeah, it does take every true. So this where clause gonna apply and check if the each individual record is eligible to go further down the processing or this SQL pipeline or not. When I write it true, that means for every record is check, it is always going to be true. It will be part of this one, right? If I write false, so all the record will get dropped and I will see none. See, interesting. So just one tweak at a particular stopper in this pipeline, it will impact everything. So this is the one. So now we are good with this one. Simply, I will check for all the record sales and this data. Now we will do a bit more interesting things. Okay. So you might not face them immediately, but in the future you will definitely gonna find. So there are times when you need to do group by and get the aggregate for same aggregation, same metric, but for different parameters. And then what you need to do, you need to merge them together. Let me give you an example. Suppose you need to create two different sets where you need to get the sales at the region level and you need to get the sales at the year level. You want this to happen, and you also want a region and year total sales, right? You need three datas. Okay, so you need to get me sales at region level. Okay, that means you need to group at the region level. Then you need to give me region at year level. Okay, that means you need to do year level of data processing or the grouping. Then you need to give me sales at region and year, right? So you need to do three group by and you need to combine them. That you can do it like select uh, region, and then you can write mm, yeah, you can write null from sales. No, let's do properly. Okay, first I will access the table expression sales underscore data. Then I will do group by what region, right? That's exactly what I want. And I need to do select. Okay, and then the one is will be region. Okay, second one will be null that I will going to put as year. Okay, third one is gonna be sum of sales as total sales. Right, let's run it. So I got east, I got this one. Why I kept the year, you will understand now. Now I will do the same thing for year, right? From sales underscore data, right? And group by year, right? Then I am going to do select list as your null as region, and then year, and then the sum as sales as total total sales, right? And I will execute this one. I got region as null because I kept it, and then the year on which I was grouping. And I told you that when you do group, you represent one record for individual for each group, right? So null can represent that group as well. So that's why scalar value that I was talking about. It can be aggregate or scale. I can put one as well. Now the third thing again from I will have this sales underscore data. I will do group by year, right? No. Here I will do region and year because that's the third condition where I want to get the total says based on these two grouping, right? Select and then select list. First one is region. It will automatically have the same name. Then in the column name of the virtual table, this one, and I will simply copy this one to save our time, and I will run it, and I got this one. Now I told you that I don't want to see it separately because I can't see it. I need to individually run it. I want to see the entire data set into one. So what I will do, I will simply merge them into single table, union all, right? So if I run this one, see it merged all my records where I was doing the sum of the total sales at this level, when I was doing the sum at the year level, and then I was doing the sum at the year and this level. Okay. If you see, these two records are the same because there is no multiple years 2025 or 2026 or 2023. This why the record is same, but it also enable me to understand there's only one year. Okay. So I need to this union all to do this one where within the same column I wanted to group by for different combination of the column. Okay, so there's something you can achieve. So the condition is simple. When you want to aggregate at the group level of different combination of the column within the table, instead of using union all and then the group by, you can simply use it one more thing that is called grouping set. You simply group the different set, right? How to do it, I will tell you. Now, from where I need to have the table reference that is your expression sales data, right? I will do group by. Now, what I'm doing grouping three different scenarios and then I'm merging them together. So this all together have a different combination of keywords that is called grouping sets. And then in this one, you can provide your sets. So in this one, you can provide the first one can be your region. Okay. Second one could be your product. And the third and last one gonna be region, comma product, right? And how you gonna display? You will like this select list, region, then product, and then the that I want to calculate for all these three was the sum, the same this one. So that's why I'm able to copy paste it. Okay. So mandatory thing is like is they are from the same table, any combination work, but that the thing you want to calculate is something that you need to calculate for everything. See, same thing came again, right? East with the laptop, all this thing here. Okay, I did the wrong thing here. It should be ear. That's why it gave me the wrong thing. That's why I was looking. See, the same thing you can do with the product as well, but right now I'm not interested in this one. See here, product ear, and here is again product is ear. It should give me now answer proper. Yep, see here. So east with the combination of region with the ear, this is the first, the third set. Then it gave me the region is the second set, and then year the third set that gave me answer. So the union all everything, the entire big set got converged to this one, and it is much more meaningful to me than that, right? So this is the first one that is grouping set. Let's move to the second scenario. This is really interesting. Trust me, dude. I really love this one because this is something I'm learning for the first time as well. So I learned it yesterday. That's why I'm sharing it to you guys. What's the time left? 5 minutes left. Yes. So now let's do one more hierarchical your grouping, and this is more interesting. This one, trust me, this is something you're gonna definitely use it because a lot of structure has somewhere hierarchical, and it is easy to see this right kind of a thing. Let me run first this one. Access the table expression this one and get all the records. Execute this one. So if you see here, there is a hierarchy here. Region, product and the corresponding category, right? Category is same, doesn't matter, but let's see. This is the hierarchy, right? And what happen at times you need these total sales at these three categories, then you need a total sales in this two category, and then you need the total sales at the region category, and then you want to merge together. So you see, it's the same as this scenario, but how it gonna look like? Let me show you. I will give the same, right? I need region, then I need product, and then I need the third one as category. Cat- Category, right? Total says, and then I will write down the case that I want, right? The first case I want all this rating region, product, and category. Then on the second one, as I move, I want to leave the category. I want the region, region, product. Hierarchy, dude. Top is your region, then product, then category. Now all the three I'm combining. Now first two I'm combining, and then the last. Okay, this is done, and then last is your region. So it goes from like very specific to very general, right? Region. If I run this one, see, I got the answers. First, I got all this one, right? Group by, then the product and the category. On the second, then I got only the region and the product. You can see I kept the null or empty. And the last one is the region that I want. Okay. So this thing that you can do with the group by set, but suppose if there is five or six, you need to write all this like this, right? This is very unfriendly way of writing this thing. So if you have a category level of data that you want to explore, same as the grouping set, you can use the another group keyword that is called roll up, and you simply provide the name of the thing you want to roll up. That is your in the same fashion on the left to right, right? Region. Second one is product, and then category, and simply run it. See, all this is null. Then I have everything here as it is. Uh, I did a mistake here. I did a mistake. 2 to power 389. Maybe is it this? Yep, 2 to power 3. 8. Let me check. All the null, right? Then this 3, perfect. Then east and this one, perfect. Then east itself, perfect. And then the last null altogether. Ah, this is right. But it's 2 power 3, 2, 4, 8, right? Why is 8? It's 21, dude. 21. Okay, roll up is right. Okay, so see here how it is done. Okay, I will do group by with this same thing because null has the highest one, so it will go at the bottom. So I am pretty good. Or by this one. So see, null will go automatically at the bottom. Why? What's the reason? Reason is very simple. It will be done on the region level, and region goes automatically by ascending. They will be placed in accordance to that one. And null, when placed in order, it always have the highest value. I need to select this one. See here, it will go at the bottom, right? Now it makes sense. So here, so now order by this one, laptop, this one. But I don't want to do order by. I want to go with the same logic as it is, right? Order by east, I think I should go with the roll up itself. It will give me the same logic I want to. I'm looking for. Yes, it does. It. So see, it gives me the result of all three being taken as a group by that I was doing it right. So this got me result. But the second one as a roll up, right? It will become null, and this two I'm going to do the group by, and it gave me the results. And now once that is done, I will do null for this two. I will get the answer on this one. So what exactly is happening? I'm calculating same aggregated value at the different level of hierarchy. The first one is at the very bottom when I calculate all these three. So what is exactly the sales at the region, product and category? I got this one. Then I want the region and product total sales. Then first two I want, the third one I don't want. I want to sum of those together. Then I use this two. And then I need the total sales at the region level. I do the same thing. I simply put the region and both number. So instead of doing this and then doing the group by, I can simply use the roll up, and it will helpful. It will really help for you to get the overall insight, right? Mm-hmm. That's just done. And the last one is like you will like I want all the combination possible, dude. I don't feel like anything. Just give me all the combination. For this kind of a thing, you can simply use the cube. Okay, if you put the cube and you provide this three, and it will give you the all the combination possible. How? You remember it become null. It is a roll up, so it is in this direction. But I never have the region and category as the value as a sum value, right? Product is always there. So now it will give me all this one. This see 30. It was 29 and give me 30, right? So this was missing out. This 21 to 30. This was missing out, right? Region and then product will null and this as a value in the combination of these two. That's 850. So cube will give me all possible combination and then the corresponding aggregated value that I want to get. This is so interesting. It is way too interesting than you think. This is this is really really helpful if you are doing visualization and understand how the data is being distributed at hierarchy level or at the set level or simply you can do the cube. I think that's it for this thing. We can close it what we learned from yesterday, and we can take a break and then we will come back for today's learning. So let me start this one. Mhm. Okay, so let's start with today. So, guys, today we're gonna do as per our roadmap. We have to do what we have to do. We need to look at like, between, and in operator. Okay, so let's get started between the operator between. So what does between does? Let me see. Notice that between retreat treats the endpoint value as included in the range. Between semantic is like between, except there is no requirement that the argument to the left and be less than or equal to the argument on the right side. If it is not, these two arguments are automatically swapped, as so non-empty range is always implied. Ordinary comparison operator yields the signifying unknown, not true or false, whether when either input is null. For example, 7 equals to null yield the null, and that's something I don't want, but thus the null description and answers. There's a comparison or this one not equal, not equal, equal. That's not I want. The comparison predicates. So between data type and data type boolean. Between inclusive of the range endpoints, not between boolean. Symmetric data type boolean. Between after shorting the two endpoint values. Okay. Okay. Oh, two between semantic 3 and 4. So it's like semantic is like a range, right? But let I think I will ask. Sometimes you don't have to think because you don't have a time. Can you explain a bit? Thing is like between is like when you want to like compare, you want to see if it fall in the range. But I want to understand about the semantic. Okay. So between is check if a value falls within a range including the endpoints. Makes sense. So two, that's true. But two between three and one. Interesting. See, that's something I'm talking about. So if it's between three and one passes in reverse order, right? So it should start with three. It should be greater than equals to, and it should be less than equals to one. So it become the outer range, right? I swapped it, it become outer range. Answer is false, and it makes sense to me. Okay, greater than three and less than one. Does between false? No. So not between low high. Semantic. Same as between, but order does not matter. SQL automatically short this. That's what I talk about. So sometimes it becomes really easy for you to understand if you just use the plot and just say you get the answers. Let me look. Let me give you an example. So between operator, it check the condition and then return true or false. Okay, what is the condition? The format of this one is like value between point A and point B. But if you look at the mathematical expression, this will become point, uh, point A should be less than equals to value, and it should be less than equals to point B, right? So why this is important, I will tell you now. Suppose there is a case 1 and case 2. See carefully, okay? There's a value for both cases, right? And it check for between operator for both the one. But if you write 1 and 3, and you write 3 and 1, okay? Now I will this is very interesting. You need to look at this very carefully, right? So suppose this is your number line, okay? And this is your 0, then this is 1, that's 2, and that's 3. For the case number 1, carefully, we're gonna rewrite this particular one as 1 greater than equals to value and less than equals to 3. That's how it works, right? So my value should be fall between 1 and 3, and this is the inner. So this is the range my value should fall in to be true. Perfect. But if you write 3 and 1, okay, then it can be rewritten as 3 greater than equals to value and less than equals to 1, right? So how it gonna goes? It says the value should always be greater than 3. So if it's here, it will go here. And the value should be less than equals to 1. That means is include 1 and here. You see, on the first condition, when the left side is shorter or smaller than the right side, the range it follow, the interval it follow is the in between them. But if not, it is outside of their range. Okay, only the place when both can be satisfied with any value, that should be endpoints either 1 and 3. Then no matter which order you put it, you are good. So in order to understand that you don't want to do that shortening, you want to make SQL understand that it doesn't matter, it should always take this thing. So to always make sure that it have this one, point A and point B, no matter what value I give, it should always and always represent, it should always make the point A always less than equals to point B. Automatically make it this one. So they may swap it. So when you wrote 3 and 1, it should always swap it as 1 and 3. Okay. So that this inner will always be the one I should be looking at. So in order to avoid that thing, what you does instead of writing value between A and B, you like, no, I don't need this one. I will rewrite this one. You will be like value between semantics or this one. What is it? Between semantic. Yeah, between semantic, right? So value between semantic, between semantic, that how it is written here, between semantic, symmetric, not semantic, symmetric. That's why I was like, there's something wrong here. Symmetric. Okay, symmetric, right? Symmetric, right? Right. That's why I'm symmetric A and B. No matter what value you do, what value you will put, it will automatically make sure the value you're giving is being shorted and A is always less than equals to B. That means no matter what you put, it always check if the value fall in this range. Okay, it does not follow this one. So if you have that case where you're not sure but you still want to check for inner one, go for between symmetric or not between symmetric. And you know what does not means. Not always reverse the boolean. So if you want the symmetric to fall in, you simply write this one, you put not, it will reverse the thing. Okay. So this is more interesting that I thought it would be so fun, dude. Let me do a case statement. I don't need this data. I will simply run it. So let's run between. So I, so now the CEO comes to me and he was like, buddy, can you give me the records whose sales are between 400 and 800? That means the better than average performer, right? So I will like, okay, sure. I will reference to the table that is sales data, table expression. Then I need to do where sales between what between 200 or like 500 and 800. That's I want, right? Above average. And I want to return, I think, everything right now. So I'm just putting a star. See, when I wrote 500, it does come as 500 as well, right? So that means this endpoints is also part of the thing. So this is the one. Okay. But I will be like, okay, no, I don't want in that range. So it will be like 800. So I can do two cases. First one, I can simply like not between. That's really, really good because it's easy to understand. That means I don't want anything that falls in this range. This one. But I don't want this one. I want to do something else. Somehow I want the in between. And sometimes like people thought like even if you write this, I will get the answer. An answer came as nothing. Okay. Why? It's the same thing. When I want my data to fall in this category, like it should be always less than equals to 1 and it should be always greater than equals to 3. Is it possible? Is there any number who is either 1 or less than or 3 or greater than? No. So answer will be null. The simple logic. A simple logic, right? So if you reverse the case where you're putting the higher value and then the lower value, so based on that equal to logic, there won't any there's no possibility that such record will exist until unless both the values are same. Then that exact value will be the one you're looking for. Since we know that 500 exists, like let me show you. So it says it should be greater than equals to 500, less than equals to 500, and we do have 500 of value. So I should get only one value, that's 500. But if I increase the value by 600, right? So is the this one is greater. That means it should be greater than this one and should be less than 500, and such condition not possible. So I will have empty. That's why it should be always less. It should be always greater. But we are human. We always make a mistake. So I was like, can it's possible that I fix it? Doesn't matter who put to what value where I'm getting it. I want to take that in between logic. I don't want to go with that the order by logic, right? So I will write between symmetry, symmetry, and now it doesn't matter who comes first, who comes second. Like let's make it 800 and this one 800 it should be 800 and 500. So it will automatically short it to 500 and 800 and give me the answer. This is so interesting, dude. I never had this much fun before. So I think between is this much. We don't have to do more than that. I will simply make sure that I write this. between, and then I simply plot it for between 500 and 800. Perfect. This is done. So let's get started with the next operator, that is like operator. What does like does? I like everyone. Does everyone like me? No. It's a like operator. What it does, let's see. The like operate, so string like pattern escape escape character. What is it? Escape character. Let's see. So the like expression return true if a string matches the supplied pattern as expected. The not like expression return false if the like returns true. Simply it reverses the thing. So it simply says that find whether there is it contains this pattern. Simply this check. Like is like, does it contain this pattern? Okay. If pattern does not contain percentage sign or underscore, then the pattern only represent the string itself. In that case, like act like the equal operator. Okay. One underscore in this pattern stand for match any single character, and a percentage matches any sequence of zero or more characters. Okay, okay, okay. Got it. So now let's just talk about the like operator, and it's interesting. So sometime what happened? We don't remember exactly what is that the product name or something. We know vaguely that it has PSD or something like this pattern. So, if you want to identify whether a string has a particular pattern, we have an operator for this one called like operator. The like means does it 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 has same like this pattern or not? Simple question is it has pattern like this. This is interesting. So is this has pattern like this, and it always asks for that thing. So it goes like, here is gonna be your pattern you want to search, pattern, okay, then like operator, and then the text you want to search on. Okay, if I'm not, that's exactly how it is. Let's quickly check it. ABC like. Oh, no. So I was wrong. That's why I was like, I'm making a mistake. So it's like your string or text, perfect, like, and then your pattern. Okay, this is how it is, and then it will return true, boolean, or false based on whether it find it the pattern or not. Okay, so for the pattern, there are few things that we follow up. First one is character, then second is any character, and the third one is one character. Okay, so there's percent, then underscore, and then the character. Let me quickly check. These are the three, right? A percent, underscore, and the hmm. Chemistry. So let me reiterate on this one. So it will be one character, no, one any character. Okay, this is represented by underscore. That means it can hold any character. It's like a placeholder. Any one character. Okay, one character. So we are good on this one, right? Then move to other one. Any number of character. that is represented by modulo. That means it can have zero or infinite number of characters. Okay, for example, is empty like this, nothing. Then it can be a, it can be a b c or a b and so on, never ending. Okay, and the third and the last one is the text itself. Okay, let me give an example. If in the pattern it does not hold this or this, then it's a simple text. If it hold this and this, then it's a pattern. Remember this one. Okay, let me give you some. Suppose I'm searching. There's a string. Okay, there's a string, and I need to search like whether it has an ID. Answer is false. And you will like, NIT is there, right? NIT is there. Why is false? Reason is very simple. Because right now I am comparing this string with this string because both are text. What I said, if it does not have underscore or percentage, then both are this string. Then the like operator act as equal. Thus, that means NITIN is equals to NIT, false statement plus true. What I am looking for is to understand whether there is a pattern like NIT. So it's like modulo, then NIT, then modulo. That means it can have any number of element on the left side and any number of element on the right side, like zero or many, right? But it should have NIT as club three character together. And when I look at this one, I can see NIT this here, and it follow this pattern, right? So it will return. Let's write another NITIN, right? I also write again that like modulo on the front and back, so number of character on the left and right side doesn't matter. I want to have ITI. And again, the answer is true because ITI is there together on the left side and right side doesn't matter. Right, let's write it again. Here, Nathan, like, and the pattern is like N, no, not N, but say same here, this one, ITI and modulo. It will throw true or false. It will throw false. Because what it says is ITI modulo. That means a string is starting with I, then it should have T, then it should have I, and then it can have any number of characters. You need to read it like this. That means it's a false statement because the this name is starting with N. There's a character. You can rectify this one by adding underscore, then ITI and modulo. Now what it says, there is one character here, then it should have I, then T, then I, then it can have any number of characters. So this result can hold any type X, Y, Z because N is there. So that means it has one character. Doesn't matter what character it has one character. The second character is I, the third character is T, the fourth character is I. Let's check it out. First one is any character, it doesn't matter. The second one is I, third is T, then I, and then any character. Okay, it is matching with this one, so the answer is true. Okay. So that's simple. It's not that complicated on this thing. So you have to just remember that underscore represent one any character doesn't matter. Modulo represent any number of character. Any number of character doesn't matter. And if the values coming anything apart from this one is treated as a proper character, and then we just check if the pattern is matching or not. Okay. For example, if you look at this first one, ABC and ABC. Here there is no underscore, no modulo. So the first character should be A, second character should be B, third character should be C. Is it like this? Yes, the answer is true. Here look at this ABC like A modulo. The first character should be A. After second it can be any character because it's modulo. The first character is A, right? After this doesn't matter for me. Here, if you look this one, what it says, first character can be anything, but the second character should be B and the third character should be anything. So there should be three character. First and last doesn't matter. The middle one should be A. That's true. If you look at this one, ABC is the character that I want to check if this has this pattern or not. What it says, the first character itself should be C, and the only character should be C. So there should be one character with C value. But here we have the character with ABC value that means it's not good. But if you add modulo or two underscore before C, then it does make sense and it is okay to follow this one. So like pattern, matching support, non-deterministic. So let's take a break and then we will get started with the mm, remaining thing. I think I will start because it doesn't matter, dude. Because this one is interesting. So now, like pattern matching support non-deterministic collision, such as case-insensitive collision or collisions that say ignore punctuation. So with a case-insensitive collision, one could be in collision. Okay, 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 okay. So I want the case insensitive. So I need to do collate and case underscore insensitive. Then it cannot give me true. Interesting, interesting, interesting. With collate, with collision that ignores certain character or in general that consider a string of different length equal. The semantic can become a bit more complicated. Consider this one. So ignore punctuation. Okay, it will ignore the while character. The way the matching work is that the pattern it is like punctuation. In this pattern is partitioned into sequence of while character and non-while characters. Character this. For example, the pattern this one is partitioned f comma underscore underscore commas o. The pattern 00 is partition into underscore 00. This input string matches the pattern if it can be partitioned in a such a way that the while character matches with one of the character of any of the number of characters respectively and non-while partition are equal under the applicable collision. So for example, this one like this one call it ignition is true because one can partition this one into dot 000 f this one and dot f equals to f because why then this one equals to this o matches the wild character and o is this one but this like this bullet ignition is false because cannot be partitioned in a way that the first character is any character and the rest. Dude, I don't get it. That's why we need someone who is smart enough to simplify, is smart enough to help me on this. Okay, so how it does say how like work with collision. A collision is a rule that define how a string are compared with such collision ignores certain character like punctuation or treat a string of different length as equal. What does that mean? So dots are ignored too, and that was I initially thought as well. The second one again dot is ignored and this one is third one dot is ignored Oh, this one. The rule. Match with any number, this one. Like must match the entire pattern on this one. Escape or this one literally use backslash in this one. Or to cat true, card false, and off like this one true underscore true. Simple way to remember this any goes to any length and exactly one, no more than that. And collision can ignore characters, but this still counts them. Mhm. But there's one more thing. Okay. Okay. It does say that a collation is a rule that defines how string are compared. Some collation ignore certain character like punctuation or treat a string of different length as equal. Ignore punctuation. I think there was more than this. Ignore case sensitive, right? Collate case insensitive. Makes sense. Makes sense. What collate does is help you to put more conditions while you are comparing. Like you can ignore this case sensitivity, or you can simply drop punctuation using the collate, ignore punctuation. So that's not a big deal. So let me ask you, can you get me sample data I can practice with it? Where is it? Like this. So I will get a data, then I can practice on this one and see how it goes. Let's see. So it did give me this one. Okay, so it is done. We will simply go here and we will go here and simply get the table expression. What's the table name? Pattern data. And simply we gonna execute this one and we will see how it look like. Okay, it does look like the one. Now the tag is the one or the name is the one I'm going to play with. Let's get started. So I want to access pattern data. Okay, and I want to get all the records from this data, but I want to keep only the record which have A as the starting character. That's my niche. That I want to see there is a name, someone named with Alice. Okay, so what I want, where name like AL and it can follow any character. That's something I want. There's no nothing like this. But if I run this one, see, Alice is there, right? But when I applied AL, it ignored it. And reason is simple. A string is case sensitive. So when you apply this logic, the character match exactly with the type. It doesn't become insensitive. To make it insensitive, I need to use collate. Ignore your, what is it? The name I forget. Collate case insensitive. Collate case insensitive. Collate insensitive. So collate, collate insensitive. That means I need to apply this logic with the this one and collate is collate insensitive for encoding this one. So it does says collate insensitive. Let me copy paste this one. Maybe I made a mistake with this one. Ins- Case insensitive. I just wrote this. Okay, my mistake, Miss Pepsi. But it's still it is failing. What it says. Line number 89. Name this collate. For encoding it does not exist. It threw me an error. So let me ask this guy. But it's encoding issued, so I need to suppose it's this one. This is if encoding that does not exist. So maybe it is using higher version of encoding like 816 or something that we need to convert it back. But let's see how it goes. Let me check. The error postgre does not have the built-in collision called sensitive insensitivity. You need to create it first using an alternative approach. Ah, create collision if does not exist case insensitive and provide this one local this one deterministic false do to this guy. If that's not the case, why it's here? Is PostgreSQL, right, dude? Right, right. Non-deterministic. Ah, dude, we need to create it. Non-deterministic collation is does not exist. We have to create it like this. Non. Why? Why is this gonna very hard? Oh, gotcha. So now I think I should go with this guy. And oh, dude, is it collision or collide? Do. Let's check out. Collide. Am I making a mistake now? But it should not be the case, right? Obviously, it will be if I'm using this error here. Oh my god. Sometimes you make a silly mistakes. Okay, so none. See, earlier when I was not using this one, let me. I'm removing it. Let's run it. It's gonna fall because it's there. But if I drop collation uh, case insensitive, uh, see it failed because it doesn't find any collision that is determined or written like this, and I got answer now. So if I do this way, then simply I can ignore the case sensitivity. But if I write this thing, I should get like this, and then I need to write like this. If I run only this, I got the answer. If I run on this one, 91. Why I That's why you should not forget the semicolon. It will create issues. Okay, so now the system. Like operator is also done and it's not that big of thing, but it's really interesting, especially with this collate and this thing, especially you have to create accent. Oh my god, I never thought like this is so interesting, dude. I think if I have time, I will definitely gonna look at this one. Now, is it possible to select no escape character by right click escape this one effectively disable the escape mechanism? So according to SQL omitting escape, what is this escape? What is escape? One select using escape this one. It also possible to select no escape character by writing escape this one. Is it effectively disable the escape mechanism, which makes it impossible to turn off the special meaning of the underscore and the percentage this one. According to the SQL standard, omitting escape means there is no special character rather than defaulting to a backslash and zero length escape value is disallowed. Postgres behavior in this regard is therefore slightly non-standard. The keyword I like can be used instead of like to make the match case insensitive according to the active locale. But this does not support non-deterministic collation. This is not in SQL standard but is Postgres extension. Operator, this one is equivalent to like, and this one is correspond to I like. There are also this and this operator that represent not like, not I like. Okay. Respectively, all these operator are Postgres specific. You may see these names in explain output similarly since the parser actually translate like at all to these operators. The phrase like, I like, not like, and not I like are generally treated as operators in Postgres syntax. For example, they can use in expression any subquery construct, although an escape clause cannot be included there. In some obscure cases, it may be necessary to use underlying operator name instead. You will start with this one corresponding to start with the function. I think I need to simplify this one. I think there's something hidden here that I want to understand. Okay, I like to make it insensitive or make it both like, but I like is much more better. Make it simple. Here's the simplified disabling the escape character. What was that? This one, where name like this, where name like this, escape, empty. Now modulo is always a wild character, can't escape it. So escape, turn off the escape mechanism. So escape will be like this one. So it's gonna act like same as like it should be, right? What doesn't escape turn off the escape mechanism entirely. So default escape character is a backslash matches matches literal 50%. Now this is always a wild character can't escape. Wow, I think I got it. Let me check if it is exactly that I'm looking for. So let me get this. Let's start from pattern understood data. If I run this, I got whole card of reason. But again, I want everything from pattern data where name like, and suppose I kept one of the name Bob as modular, and I'm just copying it, where name like Bob, and I want escape character, right? Escape character at the left side. Column there, okay. And if I run this one, the last one should give me one record. This the one, right? That's what I'm looking for. But if I don't use it, it give me Bobby on this one. But I want with the Bob this one, not this one. So rather than making it a special character, I want to escape this escape and escape character as empty. What escape mean? Nothing. Escape escape. If I did this, it give me Bobby because it can give me any. But if I write this, I want this treated as an individual character than this. But if I don't want to use this one and instead I want to escape, what's the use doing? What's the use? What happened here? What is happening here? What is happening here? I like. Then I can use the operator with this one. I like not like. Hmm. This one to start with. Quick summary and okay. Okay, I can simply start with name and this one. But I think the first one is far better than using the operator. Why to waste my time? But I can do this one. Not as like what again? What does escape with this do? I want to know. Like I'm confused on this one. By default, backslash is a escape character which let you match with this one and this one literally. Okay, makes sense. Escape, no escape character. When you write this one, you are saying there is no escape character. So now this one and this one are always a while character. You have no way to match them. But why we are doing it, dude? Why we did it? Like, if I write this one, it gonna add this. I don't understand. They're gonna. Okay, is it because like sometime it automatically by default backslash is the escape character? Oh, oh. So if I make my escape character as question mark, what do I have? Okay, backslash. So it will literally means shit. I got it. What it means is what I mean. What's the point of doing this? Alright, so if I don't, so answer will be recorded. So what it does, escape this one, the escape character, what it does, escape character simply means that it remove the 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 spatial power of that character, right? And that is all this one. But I can reassign this to somebody else. So instead of this, I can reassign to this one. So that is more interesting. So escape enable you to reassign this escape character to अरे something else some to some other character. So that's how it goes. And so interesting, but ultimately this is not the thing that I'm looking for because this is just a waste of time. Let's quickly go to any operator and not in and exit. Okay. Let me take a 5 minute break and then we will quickly start. I think I should stop it. Let's quickly do it. Take a 5 minutes break. Let me check if somebody joined and they have a question. I think most probably no. Yep. No. So, good. We are last quickly. Yes, Dinesh. So if we are able to finish it, we finish it. If not, we will go to sleep. Okay, so right now we have to study with the subquery expression. What is it? What does this have to do with? Like, but let's go. Exists in, not in, any, or some, or all, or this one. But I'm more interested on in and not in. If I have a time, then I will go with exist because we have to be laser focused. I think it's very small. We can go it. Okay, so let's go with one by one. Anyways, The argument of exists is an arbitrary select statement or subquery. The subquery is evaluated to determine whether it returns any row. If it returns at least one row, the result of exists is true. If subquery does no row, then the exist is false. And that's where my record gets interesting. The subquery can refer to a variable from surrounding query which will act as constant during any one of the evaluation of the query. The query will generally only be executed long enough to determine whether at least one row is written, not all the way to completion. This is interesting too. This is interesting. That's something I was not aware of this one. So the subquery will be generally only be executed long enough to determine whether at least one of the row is written, not all the way completion. It is unwise to write a subquery that has a side effect, such as calling a sequence function. Whether the side function occur might be unpredictable. That's true. Like if you're going out of the thread, that makes so you don't have to worry about this one time being. Since the result depends only on whether any row are written, not on the content of the row, the output list is normally unimportant or a common coding is that exists. Simply select one where this is so interesting. So interesting. Mhm. So I will tell you very quick example. So suppose you have table here, all the records. Suppose this is the entities. So what happened? This is your storage, right? This is was your cabinet that was stored in the floor, right? And in that building, this is the building, and this is the floor F1, right? F1 is your schema floor. Okay, this is F0 that is public by default, right? And this is the tray that you inserted, and this tray has some partition where each partition represent a detail of the object, correct? So, so right now, what happened that I want to select the records. I want to filter through records that satisfy a condition with other tables. What it does, suppose I write, uh, let me say, how to this how to put I'm just thinking an example that make more sense to me than anything else. Employ and uh, uh, not interesting. Let me let I got it. So suppose each of this tray that I slide in, right? Each of the tray that I slide in have like four like this, because it is tabular form. Every entity, this entity will have the same value. So one, two, three, four details. Suppose one of the detail is region, north, east, west, south, and northeast, northwest, something like this, right? I want to know if I just want to get the record who is individual in that particular region. That means there is only one record in that in this one, and rest of them doesn't matter. So one you can do is like select, right, mm, region and all the details, right, from this cabinet at f1 dot p1. This cabinet name is team. Now I can write where I want to filter that the region for this one, right? Region or I don't need this region here. I want to check a condition whether it isn't on that. So it exists, and I will check select one where from again the table F1 T1, and I will check the count of that particular regions. So where is not needed. Uh, Group by, and this table say as T whatever it is. So T dot your region, and now I need to filter this one having count as only one. Okay, so what I am trying to do, I'm trying to take account of this region that belong to this entity and see if it is greater than one or not. If it is, then it will pass, or else it won't pass, right? So this exist gonna help you to check condition with other table or the same table, and if it indeed written a value, then it's the right thing. So what happened, I just get the detail, what I check for this every record, it run this query, right? Because it goes one by one, it goes to this column, then this entity, this entity, this entity, this entity, this entity. When it came for this entity right here, it ran this one. So it gave me select one from table, again the same table. I do group by the region of this table having count is greater than one, and region is equals to this one, this guy's f1 dot p1 dot region. So what happened, it will first segregate, it will only have the region of the north, then I will check the count. If count is greater than one, it give you the value, right? Actually, this is a bit, I made it a bit complicated, but how to make it very simple? I just need the count, right? And count should be for that region should be 1. If it is not, there should be no. So this is simple. Let's say where exists, exists, exists. And what we need to exist, I need to check if there is at least one record. Okay, we need to check for the condition that that particular region for this particular record is only have one record. So the reason he belongs to have only one entity, that he himself, there is no another entity, right? That I want to check. So how I can check? So firstly, I need to select the same table. So f1.t1. Then I need to do group by. No, no, not group by, but I want only the where region, because I want to check the region have only one entity for this one. Where uh region is equals to this record where it came, right? f1.t1.region. Whatever his region is, I get this one. Now I need to check whether his count is greater than one or not. How I can check this one now? So I can do group by and having group by region now. Now having count asterisk, and it should be one in if and only if it is one. Then select This one. If it is greater than 1, that means there are more entities in this region. That means it is not applicable and it will give me false. The statement will drop the column. The region, this region will dropped and it will have nothing. Exit is false. That means there is multiple records in this region. Therefore, it is being dropped. I was thinking if I can come up with a better logic, the logic is for every record you access in your table, you check a condition, be it the same table with other table using this entity's detail, and check whether it have at least one record. If there is one record, that means it is succeed. That means your record now is eligible for the pass through from the reader clause. Exit is done. Now in operator, the right hand side is parenthesized subquery, which in return one column, and the left side expression is evaluated compared to each row of the subquery, and the result in is true if any of the subquery follows through this one. So now that if left side yield null, or if there are no right side right side hand value, at least one right hand row yield null. The result in the in construct will be null, not false. And this is according with the if left side expression yield null, or if there are no equal right side value, or at least one right hand row yield null. The result, one second. This is interesting. I need to check this one. So select. Mm, but how come this? If it's null on the right side, any one of the null. Oh, yeah. Let me check. Let me check. One from pattern data, right? If I run this one, okay, but I want a star. I don't want this one. Okay, I got everything, but I am checking where. hmm Because a score is there, right? Every score, there's no null value, dude. How come I will put one null value in the score? So I put one null and run it. Okay, so this is fine. 122. One. Okay, because of this, dude. Okay, see, one null is there, right? Now, if I write where score in select score from pattern data, because there is one null, right? Okay, okay. But null is gone because null compared with the null is gonna have a problem. But what will happen? Because it's the same, null contagious, it will be null, it will drop, none record. So same thing. The left side is in the row described in this one, right hand side pencil subquery, which return the exactly as many column as in the expression in the left hand row. The right left hand expression are evaluated and compare row wise each row of the subquery result, and the result in is true if any of the subquery is found row is found. The result is false if no equal row is found, including the case where clause automated drop this one, right? So As usual, null value in the row are combined per the normal rules of the SQL Boolean expression. Two rows are considered equal if their corresponding members are non-null and equal. If a row are unequal, if corresponding member are all non-null equal. If as per row result are either unequal or null, will be at least one null, then the result n is null. What was it? Otherwise, the result of the no comparison is unknown. And if all the per row results are either unequal or null, with at least one null, then the result of n is. Oh, what it says that is same as the same thing. If there is one value matching, answer is just get out. If everything is null, is false, it's gonna be false. If there is at least one null, then this will be null. Let me explain you in simple terms. So what n does, if there is a value v1 and there is multiple values here, okay, so it will compare. Okay, so there is a huge chance what happened. It can be true or false or null. Okay. Now case scenarios. First one, if there is at least one true, the result is true and it will pass through. Second, no true. So it can have either all the records will have either false or null. How we will define. Okay. So if there is simple, it says that first rule number two, if there is at least one null, then the output is also null. Else the third is simply false. This is interesting because I was not aware on this one. And not in is the same that if compare everything if it is not available. But there is one thing that I don't understand. Not in. Again, if it's a null, then null, not in. How not null can the left hand side? Okay, now if exists this one, the left hand side of this form of not in is a row construct when describing this one. The right side is parenthesis of query, which row constructor, which must return exactly as many columns as the expression on the left hand side row. The left hand expression I will way to compare with the row wise, not in. What not in it does, it simply reverse the not in that means it should not be in this one, then only it will return true. So if there is a no, not in that means everything is false, then only it give me true value. If it's a null, it will give me null. If everything is true, if at least one is null, no. Okay, the first one. If one is null, no, not null. If everything is doesn't matter, right? There's no null. But this says it. Oh, so if there is one null, there's a two, then it's true, doesn't matter. Then at least one null, then complete null or false, then it has to be false. Drop that means all the cases will drop, doesn't matter. But not null. It will pass if everything is false. If there's one null, it's going to be null, it will drop. Not in. event null is evaluated. The result the result of not null n is true if only unequal subqueries rows are found. Is true, not null. Not n is true if only unequal subquery row are found, including the case where the subquery return no null, and the result is false if any equal is found. As usual, null value in the row are combined per the normal rule of SQL Boolean. Two rows are considered equal if all the corresponding members are not null and equal, and the row are unequal if all the corresponding members are non-null and unequal. Otherwise, the result of the comparison is unknown. This one, if all per rows are either unequal with at least one null, then the result in this one is. So what it says, the result of not null is true if only unequal subquery row are found, including the case where the subquery returns no rows. The result is any false if any row is found. This is true. Null become null, and if everything is false. So basically, it convert everything this one. So what are the true condition? It will become false. What are the false condition? Everything is false because even if there is one null, it will become null and empty. Not recursive. That's also false. That means become true. So n will be like if there's at least one match, and for not n, the right hand side should be either empty or when it match with all this one, it gave me the result of false. But is the null is also considered this one? Like not in. Um, I need to ask like what will be result if subquery for not null has no record, at least one true match, or all false, at least one null. So not in scenario subquery empty. At least one true match. All false, all recursive, at least one no recursive. Dangerous. Safe alternative not exist. Not exist, not null. true. Never use not in when separating like not easy. That's why I was confused and so never use not in the separating the containers. It's interesting. Can you simplify it? What it says, let's see scenario 4. There are four characters. Scenario 4. One separated node. When is 0, that's true. So not in that means it gonna give me written all the column. That's true. One match. So order equals to 3. So not in written all written all except that match one. 3 is excluded because it match. Okay. All false, no match. Okay. At least one null. SQL can't confirm is equals to null or null means unknown. Let's say so this whole condition is unknown. The row is filtered out. Because it says to what it says I can't get it not in okay. That means whatever the result I'm getting, it should not exit in this one, the value. Wait, right? So if I go and start comparing one by one, okay, so what the possible scenario? This is why this is X. So Y is in X, that means it will drop because it's a not in. At least one instance, right? Second one, there is no instance, everything is false. Then allow. Or X is zero and Y is X is zero, that means Y is allowed. And everything was false so far. If it's true, automatically it will just not allow. If it comes down here, there's no match and suddenly found the null. It cannot compare with this. Everything is false because one is one even is one is true exists or not it is fake. It will drop. Same as this one. If there's at least one true, it will be in and out. That's the beauty. Second one is empty. So if it's in, then false. If it's not in, it's true. The third statement itself is like all false. So if it's all false, it's gonna be false, but it's gonna be in true. And there is one null. For the true, false, and null, it's for anyways gonna drop. But what about not in? Everything false. So everything is false, and now it will happen now. How should I know this one? Is it null or not? Interestingly, I don't understand this thing. How should I put it this way? Is it gonna be null or not? At least one as null. So SQL cannot determine null. This is unknown. Let's see. Therefore, null means unknown. For condition become unknown on the filter. So, so it written. Why don't I? Hmm. Okay, so this is the one. Let's run this one. This no. Okay, so there's nothing but if I write not. Okay, so this pattern was empty substring, right? This one pattern I want to check for uh, at least one match. Okay, one comma two comma three, one comma two comma three. So it got me all the records. There's a match. That means no record. Okay, perfect. Good thing. One is empty, one match, or no match. Make it keep it one. Let's remove the one. Let's remove the one. Empty. And it will give me the values because each of them no no match and null. If it's a match, nothing, and it will have value at least one match. So no match and null. No match. Empty. I was. This is the one because everything is false. The problem is like it cannot determine it to be false, right? So to be eligible, because if it's a false and a null, it's always a null. So what it says that, and this is the expression, right? And in and not in, whatever it is, if I check it, if at least one is true, then n is true, and this will become ultimately false because it's not right. If at least one is true, any of this one, that's first statement in check. If not, it's empty. Obviously, it's gonna be false because there's nothing, and it will become true. Just you have to reverse it. There's all false, so it will false, then it will become true, and false plus null, it become null, and so does it will become null. Interesting. This is far interesting than I thought. Any and sum, what it does. Expression any and sum. The right side of parenthesis subquery will return exactly one column, and the left side expression is evaluated compared on each row of that subquery result using the given operator, which must yield a boolean result. The result any is true if true result is obtained. That means the result is false if there is no true result is found, including the case where the subquery. Sum is a synonym of any, and n is equivalent of sum. Note that there are no success and at least one left-hand deal. The null operator, the result of any constructor will be null, not false. This is in accordance with the SQL norm combination in existing. On the left side is any other construction described in this one. Oh, this is more complicated than I thought. What is any and some? Exactly the same thing. It's just a keyword for the same. It's just different keyword for the same operation. Okay, and it's the same. What it says, they check if the value has at least one value, and this one. What? Is it not the same as n operator? Okay, order by equals to n. Oh, with any I can do more than so. Any versus in and all equals to any. Match at least the one value, same as in. Not equals to at least. Not equals to. Not equal to at least one value. True. Limit true if must match every value. And any of them is more flexible than the in operator. So in operator is a specific case of equals to any. Any or some does what it does at least one condition should one comparison should be true. That give me an answer. But with any, it is much more understanding because you can add more of subqueries like this, not equals to so many. You can do way more than that. That's really interesting, dude. It's way more interesting than I thought. All is like it has to match all this. Single row comparison. So constructor described on the right side. What is this one? Let me check on this one. Let's put it there. Oh, single row comparison. I just convert this as a single product, as a tuple. Oh, right. Okay. 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 So, left to right. So that match. Find out the rows that. Because it's a null, unknown, unknown, true, and false. That's true. Even if it's one null, everything is null. Because it's like a and operator. But, and that's the worst case of this thing. In and operator, both has to be true. If one is false, everything okay. That's different. Mhm. So just converting into a single your row using this operator makes sense. Makes sense. This makes sense to a large extent. Mhm. I think it's not that bad. I just have to revise it again, but by tomorrow revision, I will be able to justify this. Okay. Okay,